It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoor Sports South.
Hey folks, I'm Captain E, English Glover, sitting in for Barry this week, and I'm going to be your host. I had the pleasure of fishing with Barry last summer when he came down to do some flounder fishing with me here in my backwaters of Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. We're going to head off to the nearshore reefs to target another species that's very popular in the Carolinas during the May and June, July, even into August months, the spadefish that are on these local reefs. We've got some wonderful reef systems throughout the Carolinas and in Georgia, and we're going to have a great time today. I tell you, I was a guide here for 7 to 8 years. Love doing this with kids, adults, young at heart, it doesn't matter. It's a great time to get out and target these fish. What we've got is cannonball jellies. I've got a bucket loaded with them. These things will not sting you like some of the other jellyfish, but spadefish love these. We're going to put them on a clothes hanger, drop them over on these reefs, try to tease up these spadefish. We're going to fight these on light tackle, have a great time. I tell you what, we also got some wonderful reports coming from your inside reporters in your local region as well. Let's get started. Let's go back to the FSN studios.
Hello everybody, a look at this lunar table shows the best fishing times for the weekend to be a little bit after dawn in the mornings and right around dusk in the evenings. Sunrise will take place at 6:21 with sunset occurring at 8:39. And night skies will feature a moon that is 80% visible. Stay with us, all of your fishing updates from around the region are on the way. And I'll return with Keith Combs on this week's Ask the Pro with a question about lure color. We're coming right back.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Lose, setting a new standard of fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
Well folks, like I said earlier, it was a pleasure having Barry down here to do some flounder fishing, and I wish he was out today because, you know, I've talked about it every week in my Carolinas report about the spadefish this time of the year, and you can listen to that right there. They are an unbelievable fight on light tackle. You know, I'm fishing them with these Lose new inshore redfish series from Academy Sports. Come on. All right, I tell you what. But a great time, and they're actually really good table fare. We're fishing on a reef in about 55 foot of water. Actually, big piece of structure we're fishing on is a decommissioned shrimp boat that the Coastal Conservation Association of South Carolina put together and had sunk out here in conjunction with Department of Natural Resources. These fish, I tell you, once you see them, they're like an angel fish, but they can really put the beat down on you, especially a fish this size. I'm going to say this is a 4 or 5 pounder, just because we were sitting there watching them, and this one decided to take my chunk of jellyfish and swim away from me. But they are a unbelievable fight, especially on light tackle. Here he comes. Here he comes. Well, what they can do is they are really good at getting their body turned sideways and maximizing your fight. God, that's a nice one. But they are probably one of the funnest fighting fish, one of the funnest fish to target, period. Really, just because of the way we get them to bite. We tease them up to the side of the boat. Here, get these pliers here. We're not going to keep anything today. We're going to let them all live. But there's a nice barracuda swimming around out there that's looking for a meal. I hope he can get to the bottom quick. Go. I tell you what, we got a great report coming from your neck of the woods. Let's go see what's biting on your body of water and your lakes.
This part of the program is brought to you by Georgia Charter Fishing on St. Simon's Island. If you're looking for a family fishing trip, or you're after a world record redfish, giant tarpon, or big sheep's head, Captain Greg Hildreth will make your fishing trip one to remember.
Well, summer fishing is in full swing. I was talking to Captain Sonny Schindler over in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. He says the best trout fishing of the year is going on right now over in that near Mississippi, Louisiana marsh, they call it. He's been catching lots of limits of trout. Most of these are school fish. He's catching under diving birds, throwing double jig rigs, popping corks, live shrimp. But he's also catching some big trout in deeper water and using live shrimp or live croakers with Carolina rigs. He also says that some of the triple tail are starting to show up. The big fish aren't really there yet, but they will be there soon. In Georgia, I've talked to Captain Greg Hildreth in St. Simon's Island. Greg said the triple tail fishing is on fire. Most of these fish are 3 to 6, 7 pounds, but there are some big fish over 10 pounds being caught also. Usually those bigger fish are around the buoys and channel markers, but Greg's been cruising the coast, spotting the triple tail and casting to them. He's using live shrimp with popping corks, sometimes jigs, and you can catch them on streamer flies too. Greg also is catching spade fish on nearshore reefs and wrecks using jelly balls. He strings jelly balls on a stringer, ties it off to a boat cleat, and the fish come up and feed around the jelly balls right beside the boat. It's like fishing in an aquarium. It's absolutely a gas fishing. Over in Alabama, Captain Patrick Garmison tells me that the Spanish mackerel fishing has been great along the coast. It's within just a couple of miles ashore. These are nice Spanish, 1 to 3 pounds. He's catching those fish on trolled Clark spoons, little silver spoons, and sometimes live menhaden. The live menhaden usually account for the bigger Spanish mackerel. Patrick also says some really good spotted sea trout fishing is available. It's in the lower Mobile Bay area where that water is clear, and it's deep water fishing. A lot of the bigger fish are caught around 8 feet of water. Patrick says to work around sandbars and oyster bars where it drops off to deep water. He says that fishing is real early in the morning. He's catching them just as soon as you can get out to run, that's when he's there. And once the sun tops above the tree line, the fish just shut off, go deep, and they're hard to catch. But in that little short window of daylight, the fishing is just great for spotted sea trout. Those fish are being caught on live croakers and live shrimp. Well, that's it for the Coastal South. Get out of the water, take a youngster with you when you go.
In Georgia, we have 2 species of anadromous shad. And anadromous shad is a shad that spends most of its life in the ocean but returns to freshwaters to spawn. The 2 species we have are American shad and hickory shad. In Georgia, the shad return to our rivers in late winter, early spring to spawn generally January through late March, April time frame. In Georgia, it's less well known, but there are a couple great places to go fish for them. One is the New Savannah Bluff Lock and Dam here on the Savannah River. A couple other places are the Ogeechee River near Highway 280, and also on the Okmulgee River below Juliet Dam are a couple good places to try for them. Some of the best places to target shad for recreational fishing are in areas that tend to concentrate fish, such as below dams or shoals or pinches in the river, and areas that also have current eddy breaks and stuff like that that may concentrate the fish. Some of the most popular lures to use for American shad are our small grubs, our spoons or spinners, something like that, something that creates a little bit of flash to attract the fish. And generally you have to get the bait down in the water column a little way, so if you're fishing a real swift area, you may have to add some extra weight, such as sort of Carolina rigging a grub. American shad can also be taken on fly rods and fly tackle. Some of the most popular patterns to use there are streamers that have some flash in them.
I'll tell you what, for all you freshwater fanatics out there, and I know most of our viewers are freshwater fishermen to get to enjoy that, but these spade fish, I would almost call them a big fat brim on steroids. These things are a wonderful fight. And again, typically in the Carolinas and Georgia, Florida, and even in areas in the Gulf, you'll find them, and around here, we typically will start targeting them come May. Water temperatures start to warm up, and what happens is the cannonball jellies, like we're using today for bait and teasers, barracuda on him. No, that's more fish with him. But you gotta watch out on these reefs, because there are a lot of barracudas out here this time of the year, and they will try to get a free meal before you can get him in the boat. We'll get him in. That's another 3-pounder. Nice fish. Come here. There we go. Come here, buddy. There we go. Not going to reach my hand in there. Not with those barracudas swimming around. Yeah, come here. But they got a great little set of, not really teeth. They're almost like little filters they use. They'll eat shrimp. I've caught them on squid. Anything, you know, that you're going to find around these areas. But the main key is chumming them up and getting them beside the boat. We're going to let him go. Get down there below the barracuda. Come on, quick. Hey, listen, the reporter in your neck of the woods has got a great report for you this week. Let's see what's happening on your waters.
Stormer USA has designed their logo to be a shield, which by definition is something that protects. And that's exactly what their product line is designed to do. No matter where you live or what the climate, they design a product that will protect you and your investment of your time outdoors. So go to stormerusa.com today and check them out. Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee and Kentucky Fishing Report. You know, this report's all about heat. It's hot, highs in the mid-90s every day. First off, let's talk about what that does to you. A, stay hydrated, drink plenty of fluids, take good care of yourself. It's really easy to get hot before you realize you're hot. Number two, wear good protective clothing like this Stormer apparel. It's SPF 50 rated. It really protects you from the elements of the sun, keeps you cool. So now let's talk about what the heat does for your fishing. First off, Tennessee River, Cumberland River, these rivers and lakes they form are used for hydroelectric power. Check out the generation schedules and really use that to your advantage. Heat means energy consumption. Energy consumption means current. Current is key in the summertime here. So really tailor your fishing trips around the current generation. Also, Reelfoot Lake is very good right now. Bass, crappie, bluegill, and catfish are all really biting. Tough lake to navigate. You might consider looking into one of the local guides down there, but it's a great place to be. Dale Hollow and Center Hill, the nighttime bite is off the charts right now. These hot temperatures have really sped up the night fishing season, so and it's here. And then of course the Tennessee River, all the emergent vegetation from Chickamauga to Nickajack to Pickwick to Kentucky Lake, the bass offshore are going crazy, especially like I said, in times of current. So guys, it's a wonderful time to be in Tennessee and Kentucky. We'd love to see you on the water. God bless.
I tell you what, it doesn't matter. I tell you, unfortunately as a kid, I didn't get to do this. We spent most of our times trolling the inlets here in South Carolina, but this is just a great time to get a kid out. Shoot, even if you're young at heart like myself, this isn't a big one, but still, just the sheer fact that you get to watch him take the bait, swim off with it and set the hook on him, just makes it that much more fun. You know, what I'm using real quick, and I'll show you, you can use any number of rigs to do this. A lot of guys will use like a smaller jig head. We'll let him go. You know, not a very big one, but what a great fight. And what I've got here, and typical to my reports, you know, I always talk about a Carolina rig. We got a Carolina rig here. I've got a number 4 offset Kell hook here, 20-pound fluorocarbon leader, anywhere from 1.5 feet to 2 foot long is great. A swivel there in the 75-pound class, and then I've got a 3/4 egg sinker on here. Typically you can use half down to a quarter depending on the current. We got a little bit of current today, as you can tell. It's a little bit rougher, but these rigs obviously work great here. Like I said, a smaller jig head works great. Even just rigging up a hook and putting some split shot on there works great.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Introducing the XI5 for ultimate boat control. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Folks, well, I'll tell you what, I'm hooked up again, and I could not tell you. You can see how much fun this is. It is a great time, and again, you know, these reefs along the Carolinas, south of North Carolina, and even into Georgia, they've got them too, but these reefs are located from 3 miles, some out to about 25, 30 miles, and they're spaced out to where there's plenty of areas to get to. No matter what port you're leaving out of. You know, leaving out of Murrells Inlet, we fish a lot around reefs called Paradise Reef, Pawleys Island Reef, and today I'm on North Inlet Reef. Again, we're fishing right on top of a 60-foot shrimp boat that was sunk last year in May by the CCA. Oh boy, this is a nice one here. I finally got lucky and caught the big one out of the pack. Let's see here, come on. All right, folks, well, I think it's time for your Carolinas Report with Captain E, brought to you by Marshall's Marine. Located in Lake City in Georgetown, South Carolina, we're your bass boat leader since 1969. And for all those nitro and bass tracker needs, visit our friends at marshallsmarine.com. And I tell you, it's obvious you want to get on the reefs right now. Not only are the spade fish on all the reefs, but you got Spanish mackerel out there ready for a good meal. You've got king mackerel. We got flounder all over the reefs. God, this is a nice spade fish here. We're gonna go ahead and get him in the boat here, release him, and I'll tell you, in the saltwater side of things, also the offshore trolling continues to be good. Fishing the live break where we've got bait still out there. There's still a lot of wahoos being caught. But in the freshwater side of things in South Carolina, again, that early morning bass bite, those fish are on the schools of bait now. The shad, the herring, everything. You get out there, drop shot on top of those schools, you're gonna have a great time. Also, the early morning striper bite continues on all the lakes in the Carolinas to be a great go-to species. You got that first hour of daylight, it's really good. And also look at the catfish, which are carrying their roe to start to drop those in the next week or so. Get up in those shallow areas where you like to target catfish for a great time.
Welcome to the Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi Freshwater Fishing Report. This week's action is sponsored by Jimmy Jacobs Outdoor Adventures, your source for guidebooks to trout fishing and hiking in the Southeast. www.jimmyjacobsoutdoors.com. Now, temperatures are now flirting with the 90-degree mark all across the deep south, and as a result, the fishing is slowing down in many areas. There are some places that defy this trend though, and most of them involve moving water. In northwest Alabama, near the town of Jasper, the Sipsey Fork of the Black Warrior River is the Cotton State's only year-round rainbow trout fishery. Water coming through the bottom of 300-foot high Lewis Smith Dam keeps water temperatures in this tailwater under 70 degrees year-round. As a result, the 3,000 rainbows stocked each month thrive in the 12.5 miles of water down to the junction with the Mulberry Fork. You can fly fish for these trout or throw inline spinners, but most of the anglers use natural baits to catch the trout. Over in Middle Georgia, west of Macon, the shoal bass action is good right now on the Flint River. These fish are native only to the Chattahoochee and Flint River basins of Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. And as river bass, they love those rocky cascading areas. You can throw small plastic worms, crankbaits, or spinner baits and catch these fish all through the summer. It's possible to do float trips on the river, or you can wade the access points to catch the shoalies. Northeast Mississippi's Bay Spring Lake is deep, clear, and it has constantly moving water in it. This 25,000-acre reservoir on the Tennessee Tombigbee Waterway is full of spotted bass, and you can catch them even in the summer. Keep your lures small, your line light, and use finesse tactics in this clear water. The spots here run up to 7 pounds, and many of those are caught annually.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, fishing on these reefs is a great time. Last year Barry and I stayed in the inlet and we flounder fished and we had a good time, caught some nice flounder. It was nice to have a Barry out here, but fishing out here is something we really wanted to try and do, but we just couldn't get the weather. And as you can see, it's a little choppy today, but these fish are not scared to come up and play with the teaser. As long as the boat's not slamming too bad. Again, it's all about these cannonball jellies, teasing these fish up right beside the side of the boat. A lot of people I've seen cut the bait up and throw it overboard. I mean, to me, you're actually chumming for the guy behind you. We like to put them on a clothes hanger, string them up, and put about an 8-ounce egg sinker on there, and keep that thing right beside the boat. Here we go. Yeah, that's a nice one. Come here. Nice fish there. Nice spade fish. Yep, they look a lot like an angelfish and are in the same family. What they do, again, is they love eating these cannonball jellies that are migrating along the reefs and along the coast this time of the year with that warmer water. But they will fall victim to shrimp, squid. It doesn't matter. If you can tease them up, you can catch them. It's real easy. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to have your Costa Catch of the Week winner.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Jacob wants to know, does the color of your lure really matter? For the answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite Angler Keith Combs.
That's a very good question. I believe that lure color makes a difference more than we give it credit for. Yes, fish will bite several different colors, but there's always one color that they will bite best. And I can tell you, I spent a lot of time on Lake Falcon, and it's a very murky lake. And as a guide out there, I got to see firsthand where small color changes sometimes made a difference, not between catching fish, but between catching a winning bag and just catching a good sack of fish. So absolutely, even in murky water, experiment around with colors. If you're not happy with what you're catching, change the color. Change it subtly at first. Maybe you don't have to do something drastic, but if you're not catching what you want, always make a change.
Thank you, Keith. If you want some help from one of the pros, go to foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit your question. Now it's time for someone to win a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
All right, folks, it's time for your winner of the Costa Catch of the Week contest. And your winner is Ryan Cesarulli of Biloxi, Mississippi, with a 64-inch king mackerel weighing 59 pounds, caught off the Gulf of Mexico just off of Mississippi. To enter the contest, visit foxsportsoutdoors.com, then go to the right side of the page and click on the Costa Catch box. Follow the instructions and send us your big fish photo, and you could be the next winner of a new pair of Costa sunglasses. To view the entire line of Costas, simply go back to our website and click on the Costa logo. You'll see all the frames and lens styles, including the ones I'm wearing today called Tuna Alley. Hey folks, let's talk about the gear we're using today. I'll tell you what, the Carolina rig works best for me when I'm doing this spade fishing on these nearshore reefs. And for rod and reel today, I tell you what, the Lew's inshore combo here with the Hero rod, along with the new Inshore Series spinning reels, work great. I'm excited to have these now in my arsenal, and I tell you what, I know they're gonna hold up in the salt water, and they work great on these spade fish, flounder, redfish, whatever you want to target inshore. Stop by your local Academy Sports to find anything you need to target whatever species you're looking for. Be sure to watch next week's episode Thursday at 6 p.m. with a repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always check our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com for any last-minute changes. Plus, for the latest fishing news, videos, and photos, visit our Twitter feed and Facebook page. Our latest episode is always on 24/7 at foxsportsoutdoors.com. And to watch past episodes and lots of how-to videos, simply click on the past episodes and more videos here. Hey folks, it's been my extreme pleasure to sit in and host this week for Barry. I tell you what, sharing my Carolinas reports every week's a lot of fun, but getting out and showing you the waters that I like to fish and the species that I love to target has even been that much better. I hope you've learned a lot on how to catch them. And if you want to come down and do it with a guide, we've got some great guides in the area. Visit crazysistermarina.com. They can get you set up with a wonderful trip down here. I look forward to sharing the Carolinas reports with you over the rest of the season. Also, maybe getting out and hosting a freshwater show in our region as well. It's been a great time. I hope your lines stay tight and your cooler's full. Make sure to tune in next week. We're going to have another great show for you.